it's Mayor John Hamilton of Bloomington again. Thanks for being with us. And today we are with John Zody, the Director of our Housing and Neighborhood Development Department. John, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. We are talking about affordable housing. So that's a topic near and dear to my heart, your heart. I know we've been working hard, but why don't we start with what do we mean when we say affordable housing?
Sure. Well, it's a good question, Mayor. A lot of that is based on income. So if someone, there's an income determined by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Those are sort of the numbers we go by. Someone who makes about 80% of that number or below.
Of the median number for everybody in the area?
Right, area median income is what that's called. So someone at 80% of that or below would be considered in the traditional range of affordable housing.
Okay.
Now we also want to remember those folks who have jobs that are paying a certain amount that will allow them to be above that, but also have trouble finding housing that's affordable. We consider that maybe workforce housing that would go all the way up to about 120% of that area median income.
Okay. And is the standard we don't want people to have to spend more than 30% of their income on housing as kind of a benchmark, right?
That's right.
And if you're paying more than that, you're kind of housing burdened, and we're trying to help. So this has been a topic we've worked really hard on for many years here in this administration. We kind of talk about three different buckets of the kinds of housing challenges. Can you tell us about those?
Sure. Number one is that of housing security, making sure that people who might be at risk of homelessness or who have been unhoused are housing secure. And we work with groups like Heading Home of South Central Indiana. We've provided a lot of money through the American Rescue Plan from the city for that. Yeah. So we want to make sure that those who do have housing insecurity or who have been unhoused have opportunities to have housing, have supportive housing, and have access to those important services.
So that bucket's like the people who might be evicted or go through a family breakup or experience homelessness or that kind of pressure, kind of the most needy. So then what's the next bucket?
Rental housing. So
rental housing,
something we all know well in Bloomington, but we need access to affordable rental housing. Our vacancy rate is next to nothing here. We have a lot of people living in a lot of units. We need more units of affordable rental housing.
So that's our whole world of most of the people who live in Bloomington rent, don't own, and it's trying to make sure that full range is there. And then the third, let me guess, home ownership.
That's correct. Okay. We want to have more home ownership. We want to preserve home ownership. So anytime we can help a potential home buyer have access to down payment assistance or more connections with the real estate community to get them in an affordable first home or an affordable next home, we want to make sure we can do that here in Bloomington.
So we pay attention to a lot of numbers. We're kind of numbers people. I know there's 50 programs probably that do this, but they can kind of overwhelm people. But we've seen over the last 7 years, what's the latest number in terms of how many affordable units, as we just described, all three buckets, that we've been able to help move forward?
We're almost at 1,400 affordable units created or approved that might be in the pipeline for construction. Okay. So we look at those on an annual basis to see where they are, but we're about 1,400 right now.
So just to put that in context, that's 1,400 affordable units. That compares to fewer than 100 in the 10 years plus before 2016. So we've really accelerated that. We still need more. I mean, we know this is an expensive place. Can you tell us some examples of places where we've seen progress in this?
Sure. Well, going back to bucket number one with housing security, we look at projects like Kinzer Flats up on North Kinzer Pike that has provided permanent supportive housing. There are 50 units of housing there, and that's providing housing to people of very low income that need that permanent supportive housing. We also have
formerly homeless, maybe some of them,
perhaps
substance use issues. So
that's right.
That's like the most intense, getting people off the street into housing. We've done several of those. That's a really important piece of what we've done.
Right. Yeah. And on bucket number two, we have projects like Hopewell. They're going to have more rental housing and home ownership, but certainly the former IU Health Bloomington Hospital site is a huge project. Everyone at the city is working on. So lots of housing
hundreds of units of rental housing that we're going to make because we bought that land, and that's going to be a long process, but it's a huge opportunity for new rental, workforce rental, 100%. A lot of it, or affordable. Yeah.
That's
How about
right.
bucket number three?
Bucket number three, home ownership up at Arlington Park Drive, just off Arlington Road. We have
north of 17th Street up there, right?
That's right. There's a new large rental development, but we have 45 lots that have been being transferred over to the city and then to a land trust that we are working on in partnership with the Bloomington Housing Authority that will allow for a land trust to be on many of those lots, which is where someone can own the house in an affordable way, where the land is managed by a nonprofit, and we're really excited about that opportunity.
So look, this is a huge topic, John. I know you and your team work hard on this, and you also, of course, keep everybody safe in the rental units. You do inspections and all
That's
that. So there's a lot to cover, but just that snapshot, thank you for sharing it. These buckets of housing insecurity and rentals and home ownership. We're starting a land trust. It's really exciting what's going on. A lot more to do, but congratulations on what you're doing, and thanks for everybody working so hard on that.
Thank you.
Thanks. If you want more information, you can check it out on the screen there. Thanks so much.